roofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
What's happening, good people? Welcome into 3HL, man. It is going down. We are still home alone, and it is a party on 104.5 The Zone right here. And you know 3HL is powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. But listen, people, this is what we're going to talk about today. We're getting straight to it. After I do a couple of introductions, man, we got the man behind the glass, Jay Smiley, holding it down. What's up, Jay Smiley? How you doing? You want to say something to the people?
I'm doing good, Slay. How are you, man? It's going to be a fun show today. The Home Alone edition, part 2.
Part 2,
Part
man.
2?
Part 2. And that voice right there, you know who it is, man. It's the one, it's the only Dr. Kevin Dyson.
Man, I appreciate you letting me come be a part of the Home Alone edition. You know,
man. You supposed to slide through.
That's one of them few sequels that was good as the first.
It was.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
So let's, try to duplicate yesterday's show. Hopefully it was good. Hopefully people enjoyed it, man. I appreciate y'all letting me come in here for a temporary time and wreck shop a little bit.
Yeah, definitely wreck shop. Hey, and guess what, Dice? I think we might have something for you. You got something for him, Jay Smiley?
Uh-oh. Hey.
I think we're going to use it. Is that the intro right there, Jay Smiley?
That's what we got.
Okay. What happened to the other part? Now, wait a minute. Okay, let me pull the curtain back. All right, crank that down, because that's that jam. You know what I mean? Hey. But this is the thing, though, man. Jay Smiley, I thought you was going to have the other intro for him, man. What happened?
Just couldn't get it perfect.
Oh, see? You got to tell me. See, this is what you're supposed to do, Jay Smiley. Before I introduce it like that, you got to tell me in my ear, no, Slay, ain't got it right yet, man. I ain't got it right. Come on,
Now
Smiley.
I want to know. Now,
see, you see what I'm saying? Dice,
on the break, I had to come back behind the glass and see what you're working with, man.
Put something nice together for my boy, man. Jay Smiley. Don't fumble on me, baby. Don't fumble on me. Hey, but anyway, man, what's happening, good people? It's Tuesday, man. 2 for Tuesday. Time to talk about it Tuesdays, whatever it may be. We are right here for everything that you want to get dialed into, man. We got a hit with Jim Wyatt at 3:45. Talk a little Titans with it being a short week.
Yeah.
Moving things up. Got to hear from Vrabel today. Couple of audio hits from him. Also at 4:20, we got Chris Lowe from ESPN joining us. Mayor will be checking in from the Feet in the Sand destination of Waikiki, and he'll be telling us a little bit. So, hey, man, we got an action-packed show. But right now, this is how I want to start because it is the holidays. And let me get this off my chest first. People that are working in fast food restaurants, I love you. You know what I'm saying? Don't treat the condiments like they're yours. You know what I mean? Dice, I got to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Don't treat the condiments like they're yours. Because I asked the guy that was working the drive-thru, hey, man, can I get some extra ketchup?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the man said, he gave me a thumbs up, closed the window, and I just sat there. So about 45 seconds later, he came back to the window and asked me, could he help me? I said, hey, man, I just asked you, can I get some extra ketchup, man?
Right.
And he said, oh, you want some extra ketchup? Yes. My man, like, what's up? You know what I mean? Like, this ain't yours. Like, let me get the extra ketchup. He said, I did put some in the bag. Dude, I want some extra. Like, what? I don't know. Like, I'm just, like, it's not yours, man. It's the restaurant's.
Right.
If I ask for it, let me get that, man. If you're going to charge me. That's cool, but let me get
Just
the extra.
let me know, yes.
Come on, y'all. Y'all ain't got to protect the condiments like it's yours, man. I understand. We cutting back
Taking
on
out his
stuff.
check.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, they got to be here, Dice. I'll slide you something under the table if that's the case, man. Goodness gracious, man. But outside of that, it's the holiday season, people, and I want y'all to help us with this because we see you. You're watching us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
So you can also correspond with us on there, get in the zone chat, holler at us, say what's up, whatever it may be. 615-737-1045. That's the other number. That's the number where you can get in touch with us, call us up, and we will answer your call, and you can add in on this topic throughout the entire day. This is the topic for the day. Time to talk about it. What are we talking about? Something you dreaded. You just dread when the holidays came around. You know what I'm saying? Whether that's trying to get your list together for Santa, whether that's going over to your auntie's or your distant relative's house for food or whatever, and just you got to lounge there the whole day. I mean, it could be a slew of things. And me, I got personal examples, man. I'm gonna take you from when I was little all the way to college, all the way to being a pro. I mean, I got 3 different examples. I'm gonna start first with the one when I was little. Now, KD, I want you to hit on this as well, so you can give you a second to think about it. When I was younger, what I couldn't stand was going to my relative's house. Now, it's cool when it's a relative like your auntie. You know what I mean? You know, that's close fam. They right there, got a couple cousins over there for you to holler at, and have a good time. They might have got a new game system.
Yes.
You sit in there and play that all day. Good food. I know who food I'm really eating. But when you start getting on down the line, that second, third, fourth tier cousin, uncle house that you got to go to that's in the country or something, and the service of phones and things just ain't quite there. So you just sitting there, and it ain't nothing but adults.
Yes.
And you happen to be the only kid. So it ain't nothing for you to do. You know what I mean? We wasn't rich or nothing, so I ain't have the games to
I was
take
gonna say
with
no
me.
Nintendo.
Yeah, you ain't got no iPads.
Nothing.
You just eat, and then you just gotta sit there and watch whatever they want to watch on TV in the living room. You know what I'm saying? No, hey man, now as an adult, man, I try to take my son and bring his iPad, you know what I mean, and let him have his own thing where he can do, man. But that's all. Parents, I just want y'all to know that was torture. Mama, if you're listening, that might have been torture, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause, dude, that was just different, man. You sitting there with nothing to do. Now you got to listen to these adult conversations, and then they get mad at you. Going out of here, boy. It's adults in here. Where you want me to go?
Yeah,
I ain't got nobody to talk to. What you want me to do?
Yeah, what they say, get our grown folks business.
Yeah. Ain't no grown folks here. What you want me to do, man? But Dice, you got anything that you can recollect, man, when you were younger or whatever, something you dreaded you had to do when you were little around the holidays?
Growing up, I started when I was little, living between 2 households in 2 different states. We was Greyhound bussing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the oldest of 4. And wasn't like I had somebody else with me.
Yeah.
I'd have to go from city to city, from Salt Lake City to Las Vegas, Nevada, as the oldest with my little brothers and sister.
Oh.
And I got a brother who's 2 years younger than me.
Oh.
And he's a problem child.
Yeah.
I love him. I love you, Pat.
Yeah.
But that joker, I mean, one time we was on the bus on the way to Vegas.
Yeah.
And Greyhound bus, it's really not that long of a drive, but Greyhound, they stop at all these different stops along the way. My mama said, don't get off this bus.
Don't do
and
that.
if you do, all for y'all to go to the bathroom, whatever, don't get off the bus. This joker decided he gonna get off the bus.
Oh, come on.
He get off the bus by himself. People coming in. I'm a young man, young dude with the other 2. I can't get off, go look for him. I'm like, oh my, what am I gonna do? We about to take off. Well, he got there at the last minute. That was probably my most strangest, most scariest holiday trip ever. Those back and forths during the holidays were something I did not look forward to because I was responsible. I had to be responsible for everybody. That was the ones.
Yeah.
Man, of recent, it's the pressure of gifting.
That's tough right there, Dice.
Man,
talk about it.
When you go to the league, all of a sudden, just buying somebody some ice cream to send to them, you ain't gonna see a whole tub of ice cream. The pressure of gifting ain't the same. Yeah. People calculate how much you spent on them now.
Right, Googling it up, trying to see what it is.
Yeah.
That ain't cool, man. That ain't cool, man. If you got anything that you dreaded when you were younger or as an adult, man, let us know. 615-737 1045. Yeah, that's the phone number, man. Y'all reach out, holler at us, and let us know, man. We got some things we want to hit on. Especially, we didn't get to touch on the Kevin Wyatt audio yesterday. I want to hit on that, man, and know what your thoughts are on it, Dice, and where we talked with Mike Keefe about the morale of the team and where it is. Red B hit on it a little bit earlier, so we want to see just what it is. I talked about it on Ramon, Kayla, and Will this morning, and I'll share my thoughts on that. Moving forward. Also, we got Vrabel talking about the last 4 games from today. Vrabel on the injury situation, and also Malik playing the same defense for a second time. Roger McCreary also talked about on the tip ball interception from Sunday. You wanna tease him with that real quick, Jay Smiley? Let's hit him with a little bit of the Roger McCreary, and that'll take us into the break, and then we'll come back with a little bit of Byard. So you want to stay tuned. Hit him with number 6 right there, Jay Smiley.
Exactly that play, and I always wanted to do something like that first. But when I seen it, I knew they was going like quick pace. They were gonna throw the ball deep to Mike Williams. So when I seen he wasn't looking at the ball, I knew this was my chance to make a play. But I knew I wasn't going to exactly like catch it in bounds. So I see my partner Kalu over, so I just been an unselfish moment, just passed it to him, and I felt like it worked out good in my head, and it worked out good on play.
And that one you can practice, but have you thought about making a play like that or in game scenarios like that?
I always thought about making a play like that. I talked to Hook about it, and it exactly happened just like that. But we didn't practice that, I would say. But I feel like it was good right at that moment.
What'd you hear from teammates when you got back to the sideline?
They would say that was great. Everybody, the energy was just electric. I feel like that was like one of the great play that got our momentum back up. Everybody feeling excited that we finally got the drive start. So I felt like it was good for the sideline.
I guess the only thing that spoiled it is the outcome. How tough to leave here with a loss, and what you guys got to do to bounce back.
Oh, yeah, it's bad. Plays like that, people won't never remember because at the end we had lost. But just from our loss today, I say that we just have to learn from our mistakes. We'll go watch film tomorrow and just gotta get ready for our next game Saturday. And that's how it be. We just gotta be better.
That's interesting. You gotta get better. Gotta get better. But as an individual, we were talking about the good and the bad you could pull. That's one of the good individual performances by Roger McCreary on Sunday, man. That was big time. That was a big time play to keep points off the boards, whether that was 6 or 3.
Yeah.
So that was big time. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I'd say this, man. He's been a bright spot this year, considering his inexperience coming into the season, obviously. Consistency as far as secondary play, he's probably been one of the more consistent, especially at corner.
Yeah.
He has a bright future as long as he continues to build on the success he had. Has he taken some lumps this year? Absolutely. Yeah. But I don't know any corner, especially their first year in the league, that doesn't take lumps.
Yeah.
You're just going to. It's a pass-friendly league, offense-friendly league, and you really can't put hands on guys anymore. And to have the success he's had for the most part this year, man, the sky's the limit for him. I think he just continues to build on this. And there's always a big jump from year 1 to year 2, just from a knowledge and preparation standpoint, let alone getting the experience of playing.
Yeah, he got a lot of experience.
Yeah, sure did. So I think, he's going to be on that side of the defense. He might be falling the receivers. They can't find somebody else to compliment him, but he's going to be on that side of defense for a long time.
Man, that is, man. Listen, we'll be right back. This is 3HL, the Home Alone Edition 2. You don't want to miss a thing. I promise you that. Me and Dr. Dyson are in the building. Stay right here.
Building.
You know it. You know what it is, people. It's Steve Ikeout Wings. Yes, indeed. Plaza Mariachi is the location. 3961 Nolensville Pike, man. They also have 123 Ewing Drive. That is the other location, and a new location, man. Pull up on them right there if you're over there in the White House area. Pull up 2500 Highway West 31. That is Highway 31 West. That is the location where you can hit them up. The home of Sweet and Sassy is on the road, baby, and you do not want to miss it. Tuesday, you know what it is, 69-cent wings. Go take advantage of them. Do not let them slide on this. Go get them wings, and then if you're feeling some type of way, you go in there and tell them, let me get the Ron Slay, and that's the Sweet and Sassy with the lemon pepper drizzle, Cajun ranch fries with the cheese on top. Yeah, it's serious. Make sure you let them know you're in the building, and they are going to take care of you. Outside of today, though, they do have lunch combo specials, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day. $8.99 lunch specials, man. You can't beat that every day except Tuesday. But Tuesday, it's better. So you get on in there. It's Steve Ikeout Wings.
Oh, they taking us back.
Yeah, that's only right, man. That's cool right there. Slide on in here, man. Little Kubo D used to live downtown. Hey, man, this is 3HL, powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling, right here on 104.5 The Zone, man. You sitting in here chopping it up with your boy, Big Slay, man. D-Ron Slay on Twitter. Dyson, Mr. Dr. Kevin Dyson, man, at KT Dyson. What is it, 87? 87. You can follow him on social media. Jay Smiley, we don't know your tag. What's your tag, bro?
J Willie _61. Made this
Jay
in high
Willie.
school. Not the best Twitter handle, but it's something.
Jay Willie, I like that. Jay Smiley, you got anything that you used to dread when you were little, growing up around the holidays, or you just all good with everything?
You know, I'm normally all good with everything, but just, you know, always going somewhere, like not just being able to stay home on Christmas. So I would say that. And enjoy
your toys and everything, huh? Yeah, you get a little stressful, man, but it's all right. You know, everybody had to go through it. It's called growing pains. But as far as growing pains go, man, we wanna hit on something that we wanted to touch on yesterday with Kevin Wyatt having strong words about the game Sunday and his reaction, and kind of gets feedback and where we have. Where we think the Titans are, you know what I'm saying, as far as morale. We heard from Mike Keefe yesterday, Gordion, Red B, heard from him as well. So we're diving into that here shortly. First, let me go to our phone lines real quick. We're talking about the holidays, things that you used to dread throughout the show. So be sure to call up 615-737-1045. First, on the line, Thad, what you got for us, man? Thanks for calling. This is 3HL. Talk to us, brother.
What up, Slate? What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man?
Man, not much. I wanted to call and touch bases on the whole "what you dread" thing. I can draw a little line here. First of all, I want to say I called in right before the Packers game and told you guys that Green Bay was hot garbage, and I appreciated the family atmosphere of 3HL. I could draw a line to being a Titans fan with what I'm going to say. But long story short, I'm going to tell you what I loved, what I hated, and then what I loved.
Okay.
What I loved when I was a kid, my mama was a single parent, you know, doing the best she could. And I used to love getting up in the morning, and I'd run out there, and sometimes she'd tell me to go back to bed. There were presents under the tree, and by the time she'd let me get up, I was smelling biscuits and gravy, and everything was kosher, right?
Man, yeah. Yes,
I was the baby in my family. And a little later, Mom and my sister didn't really see eye to eye, and I'd always try and get everybody together, and it never worked. And I hated that. I mean, I dreaded that every single Christmas, right? You know, I was just trying to do the best I could, being the baby, and, you know, it's family. It's Christmas. That's what it is. And I'll tell you, my mom passed 2 years ago, the week after her birthday, and I regret the hell out of, I hope I can say that on the radio, taking off to going to Gatlinburg and just kind of disappearing. But this year, just like all things, man, there's a silver lining. I got a 5-month-old baby. He's going to be 6 months old on Christmas Eve. He's my one and only. And this year, I get to show my boy what Christmas is. So that's what I love. That's what I hated. And that's what I love. And I only got one more thing.
Talk to us.
2 things. Slade, man, you got to add me on Facebook, man. I shot you a Facebook friend request. And number 2, going through, you know, all the love and hate. I gotta ask the doctor there. I'm gonna throw it out there to the people listening. Do you want to know, if you're a Titans fan, who was the guy that made that tackle? Doctor, you ever talk to MJ?
I do. At least once or twice a year, we kind of stay connected. He doesn't do his golf scramble anymore, his foundation. But other than that, yeah, he's been on my podcast and everything, man. So he's real good people. Coaching high school football in St. Louis, Missouri area. Just doing his thing, man. Just real good people.
That's what's up, man. Appreciate that call, Thad, man. Condolences to you. Tough part of the year, but you got something to look to, man, and keep a smile on your face. You found the silver lining. That's what it's about, man.
Absolutely,
most definitely. Salute. Jerry, we coming to you in a minute. Heather, we coming right to you next. Let's hit this Kevin Wyatt audio real quick, man. Let's go down this road.
Yeah, we fought. Obviously, didn't show up in the biggest moment of the game, which was obviously the last drive, so disappointed about that. But, made some plays, but obviously wasn't, good enough or enough to win the ball game. So, That's what it comes down to.
What's the difference between this game and the last couple of games, KB? I mean, is there something that stands out in terms of what's not necessarily clicking or the execution at times, or is there even a common thread?
I really see a difference. I mean, we lost. So, I mean, that's probably the biggest thing I've been saying. We've been losing. We lost 4 straight, so, I mean, I don't know.
Things slipping away?
It seemed like it. I don't know.
Jaguars one behind you now.
I mean, we lost. I mean, division's still there, but personally, I can care less about that. Like, I'm not really into it. I mean, obviously want to win the division and all that stuff, but I'm not really into, like, just getting to the playoffs and all that. It don't look like we're a team right now that's going to beat anybody. So we got to find a way to get back to work and beat Houston. I mean, that's all we can really do at this point.
Wow. Well, there you go. You got that. What were your takeaways from that? That's fresh out after the game. You know what I'm saying? Seemed like a little bit of frustration. What were your thoughts on that? If you were translating it for us,
I think there's true, authentic response to there. There was some frustration on both ends of it. I feel like between the lines, he's saying, "Man, we can't keep trying to keep the levy together." Without letting this thing explode, but we need some points. We need some help. But at the same time, we got to make those plays in those moments to if we're not going to score points, we got to keep them out the end zone, keep them from getting that game winning field goal. We got to make those plays there at the end. So I think there was some true, authentic responses from KB right there, man. That is his leadership, and I think he's earned the right to be able to speak his mind, if you will.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think his experience, his talent, even you can talk his awards. He's a Pro Bowler, things of that nature. It has warranted him the opportunity to speak his mind, and we're just not used to him coming out like that.
Hearing him like that.
Yeah, so I think it's a bigger deal because he's normally so much more reserved and what's that best way, quote unquote, company man, if you will. Just keep it all on an up static in level, you know, speak to the middle, you know. But he actually spoke on some disappointment and some frustrations a little bit. And I don't see nothing necessarily anything wrong. If I was a teammate of his, you know, we're probably thinking it.
Yeah.
You know, in some respects. Yeah. And this, okay, let's go and band together and figure this thing out.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I took from it, man. They caught him in a vulnerable spot. 4 games lost, man, which equals a month. And then what you go back and reset and put into the week, and then you come out there and you giving it your all. Just don't get some of the breaks, man, and then some of the plays aren't made. And I think, man, like I told him on Ramon, Kayla, and Will this morning when I was asked, I felt like as a player, when you go to the locker room, you shower, you get dressed, you're getting ready to get the mindset, go outside, see your family and friends that came to the game. You kind of try to switch it off and kind of leave it there, at least until you get home. You know what I'm saying? And it was like they called him real quick before he was getting ready to walk on out. And it was like when they asked him the question, he gave the company answer at first. And then they reiterated the question again. It was like, do you feel it slipping away? And it was like, I think things started to play back from the game in his mind. You know what I'm saying? And he started reliving the game like, man, you know what, man? Yeah, man, this ain't right, man. You know what I mean? Like this ain't how it's supposed to go down. Right. So, you know, you look at it and you're like, man, you love the transparency and all. I just don't. The only part I don't like, and I wish if it was a day different, if it was tomorrow or yesterday, and they asked me that question, I think you would have got a different answer from them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just the only thing I dislike about that, and this is from the fan point of view, as a player, I'm gonna be honest, I love it. I think you're giving it to him raw, uncut. This is what we thinking. Yes.
Yeah.
You got a home game coming up against the Texans. If that's what you give off as a fan, I'm looking at it like, well, if that's the case, y'all don't think y'all can get a win. I ain't finna go out there and sit in no 12-degree weather, man. You know what I mean? Come Saturday, and I know the thoughts are different by the time they get to Friday, Thursday, whatever it may be, get closer to the end of the week and get closer to the game, you start to get that competitive mindset again, like, man, we're about to go get this victory. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's why, you know, I give them a pass most definitely for, you know, being right after the game and them asking that. But, man, when we asked about the morale, I think that's what you don't, as a fan, you don't want to be lied to, but in a sense, a little bit like you might have to tease me. I ain't messed up with him coming back out on Wednesday and Thursday and being like, man, that was, we ready to go. We about to get this win. We're gonna win this next game. Take it one game at a time. You can keep giving me coach talk, but I do love, man, him coming out and being 100% honest.
He was authentic, and I know there's something to say about, like you said, the timing of it all.
Yeah,
but him showing that vulnerability of saying, man, I just don't know. I think it's accumulation of the past 2 years of the in and outs. Who has been the most consistent? Who has been that one stable factor, especially in that secondary over the past, not just past 2 years, really since he got here. He's been healthy. He's been fighting. He's been scrapping. We don't hear about him making a whole lot of mistakes. He's giving up a player or two here and there, but that's going to happen. We don't hear about it. So for him, from his standpoint, I don't know what happened on the last play. Maybe the dude was supposed to play over the top and underneath, whatever. So he's seeing some of the little things that's going wrong. And he was like, man, we just got to be better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or are we're going to continue down this slippery slope.
Yeah.
My worst record in the National Football League was 7-9. Right at around 500. 8-8, 13-3, 13-3, 11-5, 7-9. Then I went to Carolina. We was 13. You know what I mean? Went to the Super Bowl. So it was like I was pretty fortunate. But even in that one season of 7-9, and you didn't make the playoffs, man, it felt like we lost every game.
Yeah.
Because it was just, you get to the long season and you're not in that tournament, it can drag on you, man. It gets a little harder to get to the workouts early in the morning on Monday and, things like that. So if you go on a stretch like this, a month long, without tasting the thrill of victory, man, that can weigh on you a little bit, especially losing in this capacity.
Yeah.
A close one, right there. You know what I'm saying? Not that you want to get your butt whooped. You don't want to get beat like you did against Buffalo.
Right.
Nobody ever wants that.
Yeah.
But you're almost like, okay, we just got beat by a better team.
Yeah.
But this game, the last few, if you will, it's been, we just got to make one more play. They made one more play than we did.
Sure did.
And so for him, it's just like, what else do we got to do? I got to get some people that are going to make that one more play, and that's his frustration.
Yeah. Man, you hit on it, man. That's perfect. So that's why when asked about yesterday, you were speaking on it and saying, like, be careful what you ask for when you're talking about hard resets and things of that nature, because it's difficult to be back to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and get that momentum going back. You win in the AFC South over and over. You contending for the playoffs every year. You get in the playoffs. You got a chance when you get there. Yeah. I
for the most part, people have, and you see it, whatever it is, man, we deal in 3-year increments.
Yeah.
There's a 3-year window for a lot of times. People invest that money, try to chase that trophy, and then they start back over. For a lot of times, it's about 2-3 year window, and you hope it coasts still a little longer. But they signed the deals that are heavy on the front end, a lot of different people, and then they got to release some of that salary cap because those money start adding up.
Right.
So you got to still continue to get players. So you got a short window opportunity. So if you've been relevant 4 or 5 years as far as winning your division, getting the playoffs, this is no small feat.
Right.
I think a lot of people had that connection to the most recent team being what Tom Brady was able to accomplish. That, if anybody would agree, that is not the norm.
That's not normal.
That's not normal.
Yeah.
Even pros, even anybody that played against them, played with them, they know that's not the typical. Because you go to another franchise and you might make the playoffs, that you might be good enough, and then you might not make it for 5 years.
Right.
The Browns, I mean, a historical franchise. They've been, how many times they've been in the playoffs since they moved back to Cleveland? Once, twice?
Yeah.
That's a hungry city for the football. They love their football. They love their Browns.
Still represent.
Yeah. And then we over here complaining about being 500. Rightfully so. We'd be critical, overly critical in a lot of respects.
Right.
But sometimes you got to realize, man, you're at a good spot right now.
Yeah.
Now, do I want the Titans to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl? Absolutely. That I would love for them to get there and play, and I root for that every year.
Right.
But the reality is only 2 people make it, and there's a lot. I hate to say luck, but there's a lot of luck that goes into it. You got to be very fortunate. You got to hit the right teams at the right time. You got to be healthy at the right time. It's just a lot that goes to making that run. If I don't know what the odds were, the Bengals. I keep using Bengals as an example. I don't know what their odds were prior to the season last year of making to the Super Bowl, but they weren't on everybody's radar. Who was on everybody's radar in the AFC? Buffalo and KC.
Yep.
Again this year, Buffalo and KC. And this, it's probably not going to be one of those two. Now, it will still remain to be seen, but that goes to show you, man, you just got to get hot at the right time.
Yeah, it is, man. I mean, you couldn't say that any more clear than that. You know what? I think let's go to the phone lines. Let's get Heather in here. She want to talk about the Titans. She's been on hold for a second. Heather, you were in 3HL, the Home Alone edition. Talk to us.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing on this evening?
How are you?
Good.
I just know what, everybody, I want to say this, though. I've been the Titan fan since 2015. And, I love the Titans team and fans, but what I don't like is why we keep losing like this. I mean, ever since the Titans beat Green Bay, we've been losing ever since. 7 straight losses. Okay, we lost to the Bengals. We lost to the Eagles. We lost to the Chargers. We lost to the Chiefs and the Bills and the Giants. I was like, what? What is going on? I mean, number one, that really makes me upset is that why the front office don't get rid of Ty Dowling. He's the one is to be blamed for, because number 2, he was arrested for DUI after the Titans beat Green Bay. And y'all mean to tell me they kept him for his job? That's not even right at all. And then 2, this player on the Titans team, number 71, named Dennis Daly. Daly. He is the worst player on the Titans team history because he don't know what he was doing. Same with Ty Dowling. It really don't make any sense at all because I know some of the fans are very fed up with all this losing streak. And people pay all this money to see the Titans football play. People are tired of seeing our team losing like this. I know the Titans is the best darn team in the AFC South history. I know they can do it, but I'm not putting Derrick Henry in this. We got the best running back in the NFL history. But I'm going to say this. If they're not going to get rid of Ty Dowling, something has got to be fixed right away because, like you said, we got Saturday's game against Houston, and then we got the Cowboys, and then in January, that's when we go to Jacksonville. But I'm gonna say this: listen to me, Coach Rabel. Get rid of your friend. Stop holding your grudges with your friend, because he don't do a darn thing, not a single thing. Get rid of him now.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Heather. I don't mean to cut you off, Miss Heather, but we got to go to break. We appreciate that. That's plenty of love right there. This is what it's for. You can get right here on the couch and vent, kick your feet up.
That was a therapy session.
That's all it was, and that's what we're here for. I got a doctor sitting across from me. You know what I mean? We welcome all this. 615-737-1045. We coming right back, man. And don't forget, this is the Home Alone 2 edition of 3HL, and we are talking about what you dread. What did you dread when you were growing up, man, or when you were an adult around the holidays, man? Stay right here. This is 3HL. Welcome back into 3HL, the Home Alone Edition Part 2, people. Right here on 104.5 The Zone, man. Right now, we got our guy, Jim Wyatt from TennesseeTitans.com at Wyatt Sports. He is joining us right now, man. Let's give us a little breakdown and let us know exactly what's going on in the Titan world. Jimmy, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. I hear you got my man Kevin Dyson in there with you. I was just thinking, I hear Jackson's filling in for Joe Hunk. So instead of Andrew Dice Clay, we got Jackson Dice Slay.
There you go.
I like that right there. I like it. Yo, wow.
What's up, Matt? How you doing, man?
How y'all doing?
Doing
all right.
Man. Jim, man, coming off that game, man, a lot of banged up guys, man. What is to be expected going into practice? Forget the game on Saturday. Just going into practice this week.
It's the opposite of Iverson.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be rough, and the Titans are not practicing until later today. A walkthrough, the injury report's not coming out till probably 5:30 when you'll be able to get a better idea. But I mean, it grew, this past weekend. I mean, and includes to start the quarterback again, Ryan Tannehill, who I think is going to be on the injury report. I know he's going to be on the injury report all week because he was on the injury report leading up to this game. It's not just him. You got an offensive line that's going to be, Mike Vrabel said today, a lot of moving parts, a lot more injuries in this game on Sunday, 7 more. The only positive is that you're potentially getting some guys back. I mean, Danico Autry's getting closer. Zach Cunningham's getting closer. Trey Avery, I think, is going to practice again and may play. Traylon Burks may get back. But while you get all these guys back, again, you're missing others. So that's just kind of the way it's been here over the last, I was going to say last several months. It's been the way it's been the last several years, unfortunately. And the Titans just trying to do the best they can to deal with it.
So hey, Jim, so we were talking about it just a minute ago. We played the sound bite by KB. And you've been in the locker room interviewing guys for the past 20. I'm not gonna date you, man. You've been around as long as I have, so I'm not gonna do that to you, brother. But there's been a lot of conversation about what he said, and from a player's perspective, I get it. I respect it. I can understand from the other side of the equation where people look like he may be frustrated, maybe throwing players under the bus, maybe throwing coaches and management under the bus. What was your take on what KB said after the game on Sunday?
Well, he was frustrated, and I was standing right there next to him. But I will say this: he is always a guy that wears his emotions on his sleeve. I mean, and if you're looking for an honest assessment after a game, and a guy who is kind of tell it like it is and give you a good soundbite, he's the guy. I didn't think he was throwing anybody on the bus. I think he's just frustrated and tired of losing. But you know who those guys are. Keith Bullock was always a guy that was going to tell it like it was during his era. And Derek Mason, one of those guys that always would tell it like it was. And Kevin Byard is kind of that guy on this team and has been. And he kind of gives you his feelings, and sometimes it sounds like frustration, but he just wants to win. And there's a guy who's not getting any younger. He knows this team has been in a window to win a Super Bowl, and it hasn't happened at this point. And now here he is sitting after a 4th straight loss and seeing a 7-3 team fall to 7-7. And I just think he was frustrated. But I guarantee you, he's using that, those feelings to motivate guys around. I mean, Roger McCreary even said it today when we met with him. He talked about, seeing Kevin Byard and his frustration. And when other guys see the young guys see how much it means to the veteran guys, that should motivate them enough.
Yeah, that's why you want to have veteran guys in the locker room. Exactly. So your coach don't have to go in there and do no coach speak. You can just look at the players and get it. That's something evident right there. I love to hear it. Where do you think a guy like Ryan Tannehill is right now? How difficult was it for him to muster through that game, Jim?
Well, it was tough. I mean, when I saw him get carted off, I thought, okay, this is not only game ending, it's season ending. But that, after the game, and it didn't look good. I mean, the replays looked bad. He did acknowledge after the game that the getting carted off was more, because of the distance to the locker room to get an X-ray, and not as much about the injury. It would have taken him probably 30 minutes to get there because he wasn't moving very fast walking, but. he came back, but then just seeing him leave the lot. And a lot of times you can get back, because remember he got hurt in that game against Indy and then came back and finished, but then he didn't play against Houston or Kansas City. So, I think he's probably going through the same thing now that he was going through before that first Texans game, is that he gutted his way through this one. But now, the night of the game and the next day, those are the ones that hurt the most. So I think he's probably sitting there thinking, I'm doing my best to recover. I'm sure he's getting some more tests to find out the true extent of it. He's going to try to play, but it's going to be tough. And you got to keep in mind, too, that there's another game coming up on December the 29th. So, it's going to be hard for him to get back, but we'll see what happens. But good news is that Malik Willis has played a couple of games. He has faced the Texans before, so that's a direction things end up going. At least he's got some experience.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. All right, because the last time when he got to play, he was out there, right? But it really was a Derrick Henry show. If you're thinking about this, and just thinking from a schematic standpoint, if you're thinking, if I'm the Texans and he is playing, Malik Willis is playing, it's going to be one of those situations. I'm a Dare Malik. I'm going to sell out to stop Derrick Henry. What do you think the approach of the Texans is going to be this week?
Yeah, it should be, but I will say this. We all know what Derrick Henry's success against the Texans has been like. There's been a lot of times they have tried to stop him, and they still couldn't do it. But I do think, based on the way you've got some film, the good news is that Malik has played and gotten experience. The flip side of that is, you're right, Dyson. He's now got some film, and teams can prepare for him a little bit better. They know what he can't do at this point. So, I would expect them to kind of gear up to try to stop the run. The weather is – people say that the cold's not a factor. It looks like the weather is going to be in pregame in the single digits, and then at kickoff it's going to be in the teens. And, that potentially could impact the style of this game as well. It's the league. I think that – for him, I think he's gotten better. I think he'll be more comfortable. I think what's been key for him is just what he's done during the course of the week. I know Vrabel's talked about it, but I think one of the big things for him is, early in the season, when Ryan Tannehill was on the streak and he never missed a game, Malik Willis probably never thought he would play. So his approach in practices is probably a little bit less serious. I don't want to say nonchalant, but you're not gearing up to be the starter if you're not playing. I think one of the things they've been harping on him is, hey, you take this seriously. You get the scout team ready. You take command of the huddle. You do everything like you're the starter. And in doing that over the course of the last couple of months, I think it has put him in a better position to go out there and play on Saturday if it ends up being him. So I think he'll be better, but he's definitely going to be challenged, because if I'm the Texans, I'm definitely gearing up to stop Derrick Henry because he's had so much success against you.
Man, Jimmy, we appreciate it, man, giving us a little drop on the Titans. Got the holidays coming up. Man, hold your loved ones. Make sure you enjoy it, and we need a win going in this holiday. Make it a nice Christmas for everyone.
Sure do. Hope you guys have a good show. Have a good rest of the week, and Merry Christmas to both of you.
Hey, man, happy holidays, brother.
Okay, I'll see you.
Yep, that's Jim Wyatt right there, man. TennesseeTitans.com. Y'all get in the mailbag and holler at Jimmy at JWyatt Sports. You can also reach him on social media. This is 3HL. We will be right back. And coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we got 420, Chris Lowe coming up, but we want to tap into this bowl season and players opting out. Well, what's your thoughts on that? KD had to go through this before, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want to see about this. What's your thoughts on this? So,
I got some thoughts on it.
Coming back right here at 3HL Home Alone 2 edition.
Rates have come down a bit recently, though they are still higher than they were a year ago. But you know what else has gone up? Interest rates on credit cards and HELOCs. That's why you need a trusted local advisor from Accurate Mortgage to help guide you through this crazy market for your home purchase or refinance. Not some Joe Blow off the internet in an anonymous chat box. Unlike the big online lenders to Accurate Mortgage, you're not just a number for them to make a quick buck off of. Even though rates may be higher than your current mortgage, a cash-out refi might be able to save you money every month by getting rid of higher interest rate consumer debts. Don't let the savings in your wallet Don't lose the savings in your wallet to the interest rate in your head. Real-life example, Jen in Nolensville able to completely remodel her home with a cash-out refi. Her new payment actually lower than her old payment. Win. So if you are looking to purchase a home, do a cash-out refi to renovate your current home or pay off high-interest credit card debt, let the loan advisors at Accurate Mortgage help you find the right loan solution for you. Visit Accurate Mortgage today, AccurateMTG.com. That's AccurateMTG.com. Utopia LLC is an equalizing lender. NMLS number 4664.
Good afternoon from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. I'm Lucas Panzica. It is a short week for the Tennessee Titans as they will host the Houston Texans for a Christmas Eve Saturday noon kickoff this weekend. Mike Vrabel spoke with reporters earlier today about the short week and how that changes the team's practice habits.
Physically, it'll be somewhat of a short week just because, the turnaround and what we feel like we can do today, and then we'll continue to add as we move through the week.
Vrabel stated he is hopeful to get Danico Autry, Traylon Burks, and Zach Cunningham back in the fold this week. Titans 1 game ahead of the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC South race. Jacksonville at 6-8 will take on the New York Jets on the road on Thursday. Confirmed today by Jets head coach Robert Saleh that Mike White will not play in that game. It will be Zach Wilson starting for the Jets. SEC news, Kentucky reportedly has landed a transfer quarterback in former NC State signal caller Devin Leary, the #1 quarterback in the transfer portal, will continue his college career with the Wildcats. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome back into 3HL, the Home Alone Edition, Part 2. I am Ron Slay, man, and you know I'm in the building. Also, we got the one, we got the only Dr. Kevin Dyson.
Yes, sir.
What you got for him, Jay Smiley? Oh, you got to be quick on, you got to be, come on, turn it. That's right, Jay Smiley.
Hey.
Yeah. Car ain't got no roof. That's right, man. This is 3HL, man, and powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. Listen, man, we're trying to bring some joy to you, man. Bring a little love, a little happiness to you. I know it's rough right now. I know we're trying to figure out how we're going to get this victory. We got to get one of these victories for sure, man. We got to take care of that Jacksonville game. And also, we do have to take care of this Houston game before that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Dallas, we ain't overlooking them either, but control what you can control in the AFC South. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? I'm not going to move the goalposts on them or nothing. I said that coming into the season. I'm going to stick with that, Dice. One thing, people wondering where Babs is. Right now, she's on TV at the famous Idaho Potato Bowl. So Babs is on assignment on ESPN as we speak, doing sideline reporting for this Eastern Michigan and the San Jose State game. Yoro is in Waikiki at the bowl game.
Roughing it, huh?
Yeah, it's tough.
Idaho, Waikiki. I'm just gonna throw that out there to the public. You know,
Dice, that's a tough life, man.
That's a tough life.
Somebody got to do it.
I
man.
mean, I'm not one bit mad at him right
At
there.
all.
Right there. Free holiday trip to Waikiki.
Come on now.
And it's freezing out this mug.
What? Say that. And it's gonna get colder.
And it's gonna get colder.
Yeah, man. But Yoro will be checking in at 4:45. So be prepared to hear from him and what he has going on out there with the Blue Knight at MTSU, getting ready for their bowl game. We got Chris Lowe coming up next. Right now, though, with Chris Lowe coming up right around the corner. Before that, though, let me give a little shout-out, man. I got to give a shout-out, Dice. The ladies of Titans football. I told them on Twitter I was going to give them a shout-out. Man, anybody that's just holding on with positivity, man, I got to give them some love. Fans out there, the ladies of Titans football, man, y'all mean a lot to the Titans. You know what I mean? I don't want y'all to think y'all been overlooked. I see y'all. You know what I mean? I just had to give y'all some love real quick. Y'all keep representing, doing what you're doing. Miss Amy, allowing for you all to get some action and some your voice is heard and really be a part of this situation with the Titans, man, is much kudos, and y'all carrying that flag real well. So salute to the ladies of Titans football. If y'all see them out there, y'all show them some love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, bowl season. You got people opting out, opting in, getting ready for the draft, this, that, and the other. We'll talk with Chris Lowe more about that and what's going on in the transfer portal when he comes up. But, Dice, this is what I want to ask you. In the climate of today,
excuse me,
you got options to pull out of the bowl game, get ready for the draft. You know, you got senior bowls, you got the Shrine Bowl, the Shrine game, East-West Shrine game also that you can opt into. But what's your thoughts on guys? Because you see Bryce Young and Will Anderson, two pretty much certified top 5 picks, opting in to play in the bowl game. And this is not the college football playoff that they're playing in. This is a bowl game. What's your thoughts on that? What would you do, and what's your thoughts on them doing it?
Man, it's such a double-edged sword right now because the bowl games have become somewhat, and I don't want to use the word irrelevant, as we see these young men still making a name for themselves, projected whatever rounds and all that kind of stuff, and watching it on TV. So I don't want to say irrelevant. But programs like Alabama, which is so unique for what Anderson and Young are doing,
right,
is they're a perennial like a football factory, if you will. They're putting guys in the league all the time, and they're still playing. So they have chose the we over the me.
Right.
And they decided my team is bigger than just me and my draft status. I've been playing all these games all this time all along, so why I'm going to lead them hanging. But at the same time, as my own alma mater has two of their best players sitting out, the Rose Bowl this in a couple weeks.
Yep.
They're sitting out because they're going to get ready for the draft. Two of the best players, both of them first team all-conference, one on first team All-American. I think one was second or third team All-American.
Wow.
They're sitting out because of the lessen the opportunity or percentages of having something catastrophic happen prior to your draft. For me, I think my personality, I would have played. I love playing. I love college ball. I would have thought this was my last opportunity to show out. I would have played.
Right.
And then I would have believed that would have helped me. And there's that whole thing because you still got people. I played in the Senior Bowl. I got invited to all the postseason bowls, East-West Shrine, the Blue-Gray. What's the one in Hawaii? I forget what that one was called. I got invited to all of them, and I committed to all of them, but then I decommitted and just focused in on Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
Just because that is and still was the premier postseason evaluation game for the NFL.
Right.
And even with that, a lot of guys are like, I'm not playing in that either.
Yeah.
So you're not seeing some of the premier seniors playing in the Senior Bowl, but guys still going to that bowl game and making a name for themselves.
Yeah.
So for me personally, I probably would have played. I say probably, but again, I ended up being a first-round draft pick. Circumstances being a little bit different back then, 20-some-odd years ago. I would like to be, I think I would have played, my personality being what it is, but I also see the business side of it.
Yeah.
I can understand it. Which is so remarkable to me what Young and Anderson are doing, because these are probably, I'm going to be on the conservative end and say top 20 picks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're still playing with their teammates, probably for the last time. And to me, that's what it would have came down to, because nothing like high school experience, definitely nothing like your college experience, and this is their last opportunity to do that one more last time with the fellas in the college atmosphere, at a big bowl game, et cetera, et cetera. So, man, my hat's off to them, because to me, it's just a rare thing right now. I don't call players selfish. That's not what I'm saying. It's just a rare thing to put your team before your own personal gain. But at the same time, that personal game it's understood. And that's just a climb we're in right now. Until they expand the playoff and things of that nature, this is going to be the case.
Yeah, this will become the norm, man. That and the transfer portal,
right?
Acting up.
Ooh, goodness.
See, they not only are people opting out of playing in bowl games, they're opting out of just the team, period. They're just trying to get their name and had to go somewhere else and jumping ship.
Yes.
So, yeah, that's tough right there, man. And like we talked about it yesterday off air, you got guys going for 1,000-yard receiving seasons and 1,000-yard rushing seasons and getting in the transfer portal.
Once or twice. The running back at UNLV is back in the transfer portal after transferring from Louisville to UNLV, is back in the portal after be almost 1,100-yard rusher.
That's crazy.
I mean, to what end?
Yeah.
You know, and again, that's the gamble he's taking on himself, right? I think last year there was about 3,000 players into the portal, and like 15, 20% of those actually went somewhere and had some success.
Yeah.
You know, I can look at Caleb Williams at USC and say, well, a lot of people I can do that too, right? Go to another school, transfer, win Heisman. But that's a unique. He followed the guy who recruited him at the school he transferred from.
Exactly.
So that was going to be he's going to have some somewhat success, because that was a guy that was already coveted by the coach. A lot of these guys are going like, okay, he had a good year, he can help us win, but your success might not be duplicated. There's a lot of dudes sitting out there in purgatory right now, just sitting in limbo, hoping somebody pick him up. And, oh, by the way, there's about 10,000 or more seniors across the country, across the world, trying to get one of those scholarships too.
True.
So then those percentages are even slimmer. So it's just, I mean, I think they're going to have to find a way to curb this business. And I get it, and I think I understand. Well, I understand why it was implemented. And, you know, and if you look at the business side of it from a coaching's perspective, they can chase the bag all day long.
Right.
You're right. the players, they can't get to an unfavorable position. That coach leaves, the coach that recruited me leaves. Now another coach come in, and now I'm out of favor. Okay, I understand those circumstances, but now we got guys that's just bouncing around the country and trying to find places to land. And we've given examples of guys that have transferred 2-3 times. I'm like, how is that even possible? At some point, we got to find a happy medium, a happy balance with all this.
Right, man. You got to put a cap on it somehow, some way, man. For not only the benefit of the school, but for more so the benefit of the kid, the people that's getting caught in the portal with nowhere to go and things of that nature. Man, they said as of today, 1,912 football players have entered the portal since December 5th.
Dang.
So
in 15 days.
Through the month, dude. That is crazy. So, man, there it is. We'll be able to hit on that more with Chris Lowe coming up. We're touching on the topic, man, something you dreaded when the holidays came around. I'm telling you right now, I got something, man, and I'm going to touch on it. And it's related to then me, the teenager, young adult stage, me being in college, like people getting ready for bowl games and things of that nature. Guys, I couldn't stand when the Christmas holidays came. Reason being, everybody leaves school.
Yep.
You playing sports, you don't get to leave.
No break.
No, there's no break, man. No break at all. So you practicing. Sometimes you jump out there twice a day. It's only so many times you can go to the movies. And shout out to our girl Babsy. Dawn Davenport right now doing the ESPN halftime report. We see you, Babsy, on assignment in the famous Idaho. What is it? Idaho.
Idaho potato
bowl. There you go. Thank you, Dice. Yeah, man. But that was something I couldn't stand, man. And we'll get back into it. I'll tell you one of my stories that it's pretty interesting, man. We went to Honolulu too, but we'll have Yoro checking in from Waikiki a little bit later. But stay right here. This is the Home Alone edition, 615-737-1045. Also, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
That's right, Jay Smiley, behind the glass. You can reach us there. Type us in. Holler at us. We want to hear all your stories, man. This is 3HL Home Alone edition, part 2. Stay there.
Jump to Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. That's what you need to get done this weekend. Get that next new vehicle, whether you're looking for a lower car payment. Maybe you need more room in your vehicle. Maybe you just need something more reliable. Whatever your situation may be, they'll be able to help you, and they will have one goal, to get you in the vehicle that's right for you. So if you're out looking around, include Gupton in the process. New car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, pre-owned car, truck, SUV, or Jeep, whatever you need, these guys will be able to help you. And you'll just go ask your questions. They'll have your answers. You go take your test drive, go inside. They'll help make the numbers work, and it'll be that easy. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. You can check them out online. GuptonMotors.com. All the dealership information, address, phone number, all those things are there. Also, the inventory is there. Again, GuptonMotors.com. 3450 Tom Austin Highway in beautiful Springfield, Tennessee. About 30 minutes from downtown Nashville. That's Gupton Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
Welcome back into 3HL. What's happening, good people? This is 3HL on 104.5 The Zone, powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. This is the Home Alone edition, part 2. Me and my good friend, the doctor himself, Kevin Dyson, is in the building, people. And we are touching on, before we go to Chris Lowe, we're touching on things that you dreaded during the holidays, man. We got a couple people on the line. Let's go to our people and see exactly what they got going on, man. Jake, what's happening? Jake.
Hey,
there go my guy. What's up, Jake?
What happened, my man? I mean, even Kevin got rescued after like a couple hours before the movie.
He so did, man. Ain't nobody coming for me. Nobody coming for me, Jake.
Man, come on, man. Hey, let me. Man, I just want to make sure there ain't two white guys trying to rob you.
Hey, man, I got it booby trapped in the studio. Me and Dyson, we ain't going for it, man. What's happening with you, Jake? How you doing, dog? You getting ready for the holidays?
The worst thing I ever.
Uh-oh, phone good
had
now.
this.
Jake, can you hear us?
Oh.
There you go. All right.
Are we fighting? Are we fighting?
No.
Are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm back. I'm all right.
All right. Maybe I'm fighting it. I don't know who's fighting. I was just like a kid, and I had to go to Grandpa Shelton, right?
Yep.
And he smelled like old. And look, I'm not being ugly, but it was just awkward, man. It was awkward. Like you were talking about, like you didn't know nobody. It was just awkward. But here's the thing that was the worst. The front room was hot. It was like Satan was like saying, "Come on in," because there's a furnace in there, and that furnace was like blow you out. So they're like, you go out there and play with your cousins. You're like, cool. I don't care. I don't care. I'm out of here because it's hot. But going to great grandpa Shelton's and the linoleum floor, which was just smelled like a linoleum and heat. But yeah, but you know what you got to do? You got to work through it.
Yeah.
You got to visit those people that you don't know you're supposed to love.
Right.
And you just make it happen. So, anyways, that was one of my experiences is going to Great Grandpa Shelton's and burning up.
I hope you ate good, Jake, man. If nothing else, I hope you ate good and stayed warm.
No, we didn't eat good. No, we didn't eat good. We had like Ritz crackers and cheese.
Hey, man, appreciate you checking in with us, Jake, man, on the Home Alone edition, dog. That's what I'm talking about, dog. Way to hold it down for us, brother. Jake just jumped on off. That's what I'm talking about.
Did.
Sometimes Jake just jump on out of here, man. Right now, joining us, we got our guy Chris Lowe at CeeLo ESPN. I'm sure he got plenty of stories. He was on, like, the story I'm going to tell a little later about us going. We got the opportunity to go to Honolulu for Christmas. And, yeah, CeeLo knows about that story quite well, but we'll be able to share that a little later, man. Chris Lowe, how you doing, brother?
What's going on, Slay? It's good to be with you, man. You're in the top chair today. How are you hosting? You got Dawn on TV on the blue turf out in Boise, and you're hosting the show, man.
I got Dr. Dyson with me. That's exactly what I got going on, CeeLo, man. So I'm manning the chair. This is the Home Alone edition, part 2. We had Home Alone edition, part 1 yesterday, so nobody came to rescue me yet, and I'm just still running amok in the house right now, bro.
Well, if you got Dyson there, you got the first team. So
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. No drop off in production, I hope.
At all. CeeLo, man, we last week, there was a bomb dropped on us, man, and now we are in the memorial with Coach Leach. What's exactly going on with this situation right now?
Well, Slay, they had the memorial for Mike today there in Stark with the Hawk. And what coaches from all over, Coach Heupel went, Coach Bob Stoops, Lincoln Riley, players that played for him, Gardner Minshew, who's playing in the league now, was excused actually today to go, and I think he spoke. So people from all over the football world, coaches, players, opposing coaches, people that, were part of Mike's past in some way, some shape, showed up, fans. And Mike was one of those guys that he was not like really any other coach I'd covered, because it wasn't all football all the time with him. He could talk about anything, politics, history, geography. He was a voracious reader, man. He read 12, 15 books a year. And you didn't, if Mike liked you, if you're in his circle, or he felt like, there was something he could learn from you, there weren't any short conversations with him. And he just liked to talk about whatever. And the thing I like most about him is Mike was the same person, no matter if he was talking to the custodian there at the university, the president of the university, the wealthiest donor, the guy who showed up once a year for the spring game with his daughter and his grandson, or any student on campus, or any reporter, the local reporter from the community newspaper to the guy who worked for ESPN and the New York Times. He was always the same. He never big-time anybody. He was the same guy. I always had a lot of respect for Mike because of that.
Chris, out of respect, man, I respected him and his play calling, his offense, innovative, especially from a receiver standpoint, man. I was always kind of envious of some of his receivers because they seem to be getting the ball every other play. But in respect to college sports and college football, we talked about it just a minute ago with, Bryce Young and Will Anderson Jr. deciding to actually play in the bowl game. And that's a trend that's the exact opposite of what we were seeing. I mentioned I got a couple guys at Utah that decided to opt out of the Rose Bowl for preparation for the draft. What is the overall feel, if you will, the energy for college sports and college football players in preparation for the draft as opposed to these lesser bowls, if you will?
Well, Kevin, we could sit here and talk for an hour about this because everybody on all sides has strong opinions. And, I've always felt like, and I actually tweeted this today, and I don't see why it's really difficult to celebrate a kid's decision like a Bryce Young, like a Will Anderson to play, and the message that sends that, hey, my team matters to me. I want to finish out the season. And at the same time say, you know what, if Jalen Hyatt or Don Kincaid or whoever, says, I don't want to play because I'm afraid from a business standpoint, this is not the smartest thing to do for me. And then you respect their decision. If that's what they choose to do, then you respect their decision. I don't think it's got to be an either or, because we all know, everybody has a different situation at home, has a different background, has different things. Maybe someone has been battling an injury all year that nobody really knows about, and they just don't want to aggravate it. I mean, there are all sorts of things out there we don't know about. But to me, football, you played at the highest level, man. It is the greatest team sport on the planet. And I find it refreshing that a kid or two kids in this case, top 5, top 10 picks, say, you know what, I feel like I need to finish this thing out with my team.
Right.
I want to play. And I mean, I like that. But that doesn't mean that, I'm piling on a Jalen Hyatt or anybody else because they decide not to play. That's their right, their decision, and I respect that. I will say this, though. The people who say it's a meaningless bowl game, it's just an exhibition. Well, if you say that, then to me, as soon as you lose enough games where you're out of the playoff, let's use Tennessee for an example. They lost to South Carolina. They were out of the playoff. Then why does anybody play against Vanderbilt that last game of the season?
True.
And I just wonder where you draw the line there. But, man, I like the fact they're playing, but I also understand unequivocally why a kid like Jalen Hyatt says, you know what, I'm not going to play in this game because I just don't think it makes good business sense to risk it.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. And that's what we were talking about off air. I said I like to believe, I know my personality, I would have played. I think I would have chosen the team over me, so to speak, as you mentioned. But I definitely understand the business aspect of it. Like, if I'm Jalen Hyatt, I understand. And he does not need to play. There's nothing else more for him to prove at this point. So I definitely understand that context of why these guys are choosing it. That's why it's so unique to see. And I was being conservative saying top 20 picks with Young and Anderson play. And I think that needs to be celebrated because it is against the norm of what's going on in college sports right now.
Yeah, it is. And, they're able to take out, the school's able to assist a pretty hefty insurance policy, I think up to maybe $10 million, depending on how high you're able to go in the draft.
Right.
Or projected to go, I should say. The higher you're projected to go, the more the insurance policy is.
Yeah.
So that's one way to protect yourself. And guys, you guys both played pro ball. I think it goes back even further. See, I think a kid should have the opportunity when he comes out of high school. If you think you're ready to go straight to pro ball, and I think this, to me, I think it should be basketball and football. You ought to have the right to go. And I know there's going to be kids who make bad decisions and aren't ready. And that's not an NCAA rule. That's an NFL, NBA rule. You got in basketball, you got one and done. In football, you got to stay 3 years, or 3 years out of high school. But I think that would fix a lot of this. That if a kid thinks he's ready to go and just doesn't want to go to college, some kids just don't want to go to school. And I get that. And they ought to have the right to go, hey, I'm going to take my shot at pro ball. Maybe you play in a developmental league. If you're hoops and football, maybe you get on a practice squad for a year until you develop. I mean, that's to me one of the ways that you stop a lot of this. And if a kid just does not want to play college ball, then he goes straight to the pros.
Man, and I saw you, CeeLo, Chris Lowe with ESPN on with us right now. CeeLo, I saw you tweet out that an article that it is 1,912 football players entering the portal since December 5th. That's just this year. That's not the carryover of the guys that were stuck in there from last year or people that joined in early, just from December 5th to this point. That's quite a bit, knowing that we haven't even made it through bowl season yet.
Yeah, and the sad part, Slay, is a lot of those kids are getting stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not one of these who's going to get up on the pedestal and preach about the evils of the portal, because I do think the portal, for the most part, there's a lot of good to it. Because if you're stuck in a bad situation, there's a coaching change, the position coach you don't jive with, or they change offenses, or you're stuck behind, you're a quarterback or a running back and you're stuck behind guys that are really good. It gives you a chance to sort of go restart your clock somewhere else. I mean, I'll give you a great example. For Bo Nix, look at what the portal did for him this year at Oregon. He had a great year.
Right.
He got out of a tough situation at Auburn. It just wasn't working. He goes to Oregon. He lights it up. But there are other situations where guys think, all right, the grass is greener, and it just doesn't work out. I hate it for those kids, though, who get out, go somewhere to get in the portal. They think they're going to have all these opportunities, and they don't. And then all of a sudden they don't have anywhere to go. And that's the part of it that, I don't know where how we fix that or where we go from there. But it is, we don't hear the stories. You hear the stories about Bo Nix, the success stories.
Yeah.
And those are good. We don't probably hear as much about those stories of a kid who's got it pretty decent somewhere. He says, you know what, I can go here and go there. He jumps in the portal and it just doesn't work for him when he gets stuck. We don't hear as much about those stories.
Yeah, you don't, man. But early enrollees, CeeLo, that's another thing, man. You got guys. Nico is enrolled at University of Tennessee. Is little short bits and pieces of film coming out of him throwing passes. I mean, nothing spectacular, but, of course, everybody's clamoring to it. Are you hearing any noise about Nico up there on Rocky Top yet?
One of the best things the NCAA has done, and they haven't done a lot of smart things over the years, is allow kids, once they enroll, to practice with the team.
Right.
Nico and those kids midterm, they can travel, Slay, with the team to the bowl site and practice there as well. I mean, that's a great thing to help these kids sort of get acclimated and get started. You go up against other players. I mean, Kevin knows, man, that the speed of the game steps up immeasurably when you go from high school to college, and guys are bigger and stronger and faster, and you sort of get to see that in practice. But I don't think anybody's ever questioned his ability to throw the football, his arm strength, his arm talent, his release, getting rid of the ball. It's just all the things that go into being a quarterback that we're going to find out. I think the best thing for Nico is he's got Joe Milton there. He's going to have to win the job. It's not like he steps on campus and they're going to hand him the keys of the offense and say, go get it, whether he's ready or not. He's going to have to beat out Joe Milton, and they're going to compete. all summer, all off season, into the spring, into the season, and that's probably the best thing that can happen to him, as he's got a guy who's a veteran who's played at 2 different schools, Michigan and Tennessee, and he's got to go do it, and it's not going to be easy. But I think that competition, as you guys both know, having played ball at the highest level, is just going to make him that much better.
Well, while we're on this subject then, and I got you in the transfer portal, and you're talking about quarterbacks, you got Grayson McCall at East Carolina. He's in the transfer portal. You got Spencer Sanders. I'm not going to go to Sanders, boy. Everybody pretty much figured he's going to Colorado. But and you got the kid out of Clemson, DJ. I don't even want to butcher his name right now. But you got some pretty experienced quarterbacks in the portal. Is that something that UT may consider looking into?
Well, I would. I don't think you can ever have Kevin enough quarterbacks, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would sit. I mean, Milton's got 1 more year, okay? I don't know how that would sit, with Nico or whoever's behind Nico. But, I mean, I think if there's somebody out there that you think can help and you think can play in your system and is willing to come in and compete, I don't think you can ever have too many of those guys.
Yeah.
As far as quarterbacks, you look around this year, look at the teams just in the Power 5 who are playing transfer quarterbacks.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Won the Heisman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I bet you, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I bet when the season ended, of the starting quarterbacks in all the Power 5 teams, I bet you 40% or more were transfers. And I bet you that number only goes up over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man. CeeLo, that man, you hitting on a lot right there, man. And these conversations could go on and probably need to go on with a forum or of some sort, or a TED Talk or something where people's voices can be heard on this situation and try to do something about it. But on a lighter note, like this is the Home Alone 2 edition, and, we got little things going on, and we want to know from you, what is something that you dreaded either as an adult or a kid that you had to do in the holidays? I said as a kid, I used to dread going over to a relative's house that, didn't have kids or something. I had to sit there and they would tell you stay out of grown folks' business, but it ain't no kids there for you to go talk to. So whose business are you supposed to be in? And it's 10 o'clock at night and I ain't got nobody to talk to. I'm just sitting there in the living room floor or something. What was something that you dreaded as an adult or a kid, CeeLo, around the holidays?
Well, I go old school in this way, so I'm older than you guys. So, like 70s, okay, you get all the way back to the 70s. 10 years old, 9, 11. My mom's family lived over in Virginia, so we would go there every year right after Christmas. And my uncle had a basement, old school basement, like a split level deal, and they had a big pool table down there. And we all go down and play pool. All the uncles and the great uncles. It was like being in a bar, man. Everybody was smoking. I'm 10 years old, and you're like, it's a miracle I didn't get cancer. All right, it's so smoky down there, you can't see. Your eyes are barely open. You walk outside, and you smell like you're 10 years old, like you've been. Remember the old tap room on the strip there?
Yeah.
You walk in there, and you're in there for 30 seconds, you just smell like a cigarette factory. I hated that as like a 9 or 10-year-old to go down there, and everybody was smoking, and you reek like smoke for 10 days.
Hey, man, I can see that vividly, boy. I need some ventilation. Like, what am I doing down here? Ain't no doubt, CeeLo. I'm going to tell you.
There was no ventilation, man. You're down in the basement, and you're just stuck, Hey, nobody was smoking weed, but it was like a scene out of Cheech and Chong.
Hey, I know it. I can see it, though. Hey, I'm gonna share my Hawaii story from Christmas over the air and just here shortly, man. So I just want to know if you can stamp everything I'm gonna say, even though you don't get to hear it.
No, listen. I mean, you got Dyson with you. I can confirm the Hawaii story, the New York City story. I can confirm every single one of them. and let's just say in those days, Dyson, Slay, whether he did or didn't, never had a curfew.
I believe that. I believe it.
Hey, CeeLo, we went to the Army-Navy game real quick, and Jason Witten, we were able to interview Jason Witten, and he came up, and in the middle of the interview, he just fed into it and told Brent and Babs, now, it was a time up there at Tennessee, man. I don't care who was up there for 2 years running. If you needed anything done, you needed to holler at Ron Slay. I'm like, come on, Whit. Do not give them this ammunition, man. That's what they're looking for. Hey, man. Man, we appreciate you, CeeLo, man. Make sure you enjoy the holidays, dude. We love you, my brother.
All right. Kevin, Ron, you guys have a Merry Christmas.
Hey, have a good Christmas, brother.
All right.
Okay.
That's Chris Lowe, man, of ESPN, at CeeLo ESPN. Coming back from this break, we will have the one and only man himself, toes in the sand. Brent Daugherty, the mayor, will be checking in, man. Yeah, it's going to be cold for us this weekend. Some people ain't going to be cold for Dyson.
Oh, he going to be living a Vida Loca. He having a good old time.
He sure is, man. It's 3HL, the Home Alone.
Aloha.
Exactly. Stay right there, man. We'll be right back. What's happening, people? Listen up. If you were shopping for a pre-owned vehicle in the last year, you know the price is skyrocketing, man. You need to take advantage of what Music City Autoplex has going. And I'm going to give you a little tidbit here. You want to get some extra cash when you buy the car? Well, this is what you do. Go in the building at 2430 Gallatin Pike North and tell them, I'm in the building, and Big Slay sent me. Automatically, when you get the car, $500 American Express gift card right to you, cash in your pocket. Promise you. Now, this is very important. This gift card is special, and it's only for my Zone listeners. So if you can hear my voice right now, you need to tap in. I'm going to tell you what you do. Everybody likes to text right now. We all like texting. So here it is, 615-601-3485, 601-3485. Say, Slay sent me. That's all you got to do, and they'll get back to you. Get ready, prepared to buy that vehicle that you've been wanting. $500 going right back to you. Don't forget to tell them I sent you. Music City Autoplex, the Uncommon dealership, giving back to you this Christmas. Go get your car. Yeah. You know what time it is. 3HL, baby, right here on the Home Alone edition, part 2. Me and Dr. Dyson are in the building, rocking and rolling with you, Dice.
Smiley, he might become DJ the next party, man.
He know what he doing. You need to be at the VIP Titans tailgate experience, man. It's going down not on the 24th, people, not for the Houston game, but for the Cowboys game. That's on a Thursday, so cranking up at 4:15. You want to be there. Right now, we got checking in all the way from Hawaii, the Hawaii Bowl bound. Man, you know what time it is. MTSU versus San Diego State. Now, for all the latest news on MTSU sports, you can go to BlueRaiders.com, go BlueRaiders.com, and check in and stay up to speed on everything that's going on. But verbally, you need to hear it because I feel like he's out there in the waves. He just put his surfboard down, and he's checking in with us right now. Yoro!
What's up? Yeah, I'm not touching a surfboard. We did go to the North Shore yesterday because we had a storm roll through, so they had 30-foot waves. It was pretty unbelievable. So as I was talking to you guys yesterday, that's where we were. But no, me and surfing, not a good combo. I know Slay Dog. I've seen pictures. I've seen pictorial evidence that Slay Dog is the surfer in the group.
I did jump out there, man. I got up on the surfboard for that time for them to take the picture.
Oh,
and I'll
that's all you needed.
Yeah,
that's all you needed.
I got like he said, I got photographic evidence, man. So that's all that matters. It's a snapshot.
I'm also watching. I'm watching the Idaho Potato Bowl, which I come to find out is the northernmost bowl game being played this year.
Wow.
And the only reason why I'm watching is because Don Davenport is there on the blue field, and there's been big debate for a long time about how the blue field is where the birds go to die.
Yes.
Like that's the myth. That they think it's water, so they fly and just basically head into the field and die. But I talked to Dan Hawkins one time, who used to coach at Boise State. He was actually upset when I asked him a question about that. He's like, "That's not true."
They
so,
all
I don't
the myths.
know.
They don't
I don't know. This bowl down here, man, the weather's perfect now. 78 degrees and sunny. There's a wind going, but the 19th. Easy Post Hawaii Bowl is going to take place on Saturday.
Hey.
I didn't know what Easy Post was. I had to look it up. But they're kind of an online shipping directional business. So easypost.com if you want to dive into that. But that game's going on Saturday. San Diego State at 7-5. Middle Tennessee at 7-5. San Diego State has won 5 out of their last 7 out of the Mountain West. MTSU has won 4 out of 5. So we're excited about the game on Saturday, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Went over to the team hotel yesterday. Shout out long snapper Connor Doherty. We had dinner with him, but also saw Chris Massaro, the AD, and Rick Stockstill, the head coach, and they're excited about this week. And, I was thinking about a lot of these kids, they get on a plane maybe for the first time, and I brought that up to Connor, and Connor said, yeah, one of the guys said he's never seen the water before.
Wow.
So when they flew in and got low enough to be able to see the water, he got kind of emotional about it. And these are some of the things you don't think about that come along with bowl trips for some of these kids that, get to experience some things that maybe they haven't had a chance to experience before. But, the football game coming up on Saturday. Interesting side note here, guys. San Diego State, for those that don't know, is coached by former Tennessee interim coach Brady Hoke.
Oh, wow.
Which I love because I love Brady Hoke. And if you go look him up a little bit and dig around online a little bit, he's a Michigan guy, but he ended up at Tennessee. He ended up as interim coach at Tennessee. There were all kinds of things happening at Tennessee where emails got brought to the public eye, and all of his emails he writes in all caps, which I absolutely love. So when that was all going on, we would read them on the air yelling. Because that's what all caps emails are, right? Yelling.
Yeah.
So, just a little side note on Brady Hoke. Also, Brady Hoke once came on 3HL and broke the story himself that Jawan Jennings had been dismissed from the football team, which led us to all look at each other like we were crazy, and he was crazy, but it was actually true, and that was kind of a funny note there. But, yeah, Brady Hoke involved in this game too. So looking forward to it on Saturday. It's been a fun week so far.
Hey, man, that's what it's all about, man. You running into guys, man, that's experiencing first things for their life. I remember that was my first time going on the beach, man. We went down to Honolulu, Hawaii for the Rainbow Classic, and that was, man, that was everything, man, to look out there and see that water. So I can relate to it. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so the team had practice this morning. They're headed over to Pearl Harbor today, which I don't know. I know a lot of people understand the history of what happened there and the tragedy and what happened after that. The very next day, the United States declared war on Japan, and here we are in World War II. But to go there and see that, and to see the USS Arizona just below the surface of the water still spitting oil, is one of the more emotional things that you will ever see. And I don't know that they understand that until they get there, but I think it's cool that they get to experience that. Tomorrow they're going to hit the water park, which is a much different deal. And then they have a luau tomorrow night, which is really cool too.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Those are fun.
That's it right there, boy. I remember my coach showed up with a sandal and a shoe on at the same time to the luau. But
yeah, well, we know who your coach was.
Yeah, I don't expect Coach Stock.
Capable of anything, bro.
Yeah, I don't expect Stock to come down there with sunglasses on at the night for the luau.
Stock is the coolest of cool, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate you, Euro, checking in. Don't forget, go to GoBlueRaiders.com to keep up with all the latest news on MTSU sports. Man, keep on checking in with us, Euro, man. Enjoy it out there.
There
man.
you go. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. GoBlueRaiders.com, #BlueNighted. Thanks, y'all.
All
right, man.
Appreciate it, man. That's Euro checking in from Waikiki. Man, it is getting serious. We're about to roll into the 5 o'clock hour. Show just flying by, Dice. I mean, I don't know what we're supposed to do, man. We can't slow it down the time.
You got to keep it moving.
That's what it is. So you stay with us. We'll keep it moving, and we will be talking about Philly Mike, stay right there on the line. We're getting you in the 5 o'clock hour. We're talking about the holidays. What did you dread growing up or as an adult about the holidays, man? There's always got to be something. You know, it's always when people get together. That's great. But it's always that one thing that you dread. You get over it, but, hey, we just want to throw it out there. You know, throw it out there. This is 3HL, the Home Alone edition, part 2. We'll be right back. Hey, what's happening, people? Ron Slay here, man. If you've been looking for a simple hair loss solution that works, and listen up, Advanced Hair Restoration has officially opened up one of their world-renowned, state-of-the-art facilities near Nashville. No more traveling to the West Coast for the best in hair restoration. The team and technology behind the Advanced FUE, the groundbreaking hair loss solution that's changed thousands of lives, is finally here. Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And your new hair is even guaranteed to grow. It's literally guaranteed. Advanced Hair can address bald spots, receding hairlines, thinning, men, woman, younger, and of course, you know we got to take care of wiser. Yes, indeed. Celebrate Advanced Hair's local grand opening with $500 off. Find out if you qualify with your free consultation, 629-348-HAIR. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Make sure to ask about that industry-leading guarantee. That's 629-348-HAIR. See what they can do for you with amazing before and afters at advancedhair.com.
Good afternoon from the Superbook.com Sports Desk. I'm Lucas Panzica. It is a short week for the Tennessee Titans as they will host the Houston Texans for a Christmas Eve Saturday noon kickoff this weekend. Mike Vrabel spoke with reporters earlier today about the short week and how that changes the team's practice habits.
Physically, it'll be somewhat of a short week just because, the turnaround and what we feel like we can do today, and then we'll continue to add as we move through the week.
Vrabel stated he is hopeful to get Danico Autry, Traylon Burks, and Zach Cunningham back in the fold this week. Titans 1 game ahead of the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC South race. Jacksonville at 6-8 will take on the New York Jets on the road on Thursday. Confirmed today by Jets head coach Robert Saleh that Mike Wyatt will not play in that game. It will be Zach Wilson starting for the Jets. SEC news, Kentucky reportedly has landed a transfer quarterback in former NC State signal caller Devin Leary, the #1 quarterback in the transfer portal, will continue his college career with the Wildcats. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Welcome back into 3HL, good people. You know it's 3HL on 104.5 The Zone, the Home Alone edition, part 2. It is powered by Spring Hill Heating and Cooling. And you know what? Let me make a little quick introduction to everyone. We got behind the glass, my man, the one and only Jay Smiley. Say what's up to the people, Jay Smiley.
What's up, Slay?
Hey.
Glad to be here for a third hour.
There it is, man. The hour just flying through. Also, we got the one, the only, they call him the Miracle Man, Dr. Kevin Dyson in the building.
I'm in the building.
Yeah.
Hey.
There you go, Smiley. That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Hang in the roof.
Yeah. The turn up is real, man. I am the one, Rod Slay, people. I'm in the building. Yeah. Yes, indeed, people. The reason we call this the Home Alone 2 edition, one is the holidays. Yesterday was Home Alone 1. Tomorrow could be something totally different, but this is the second day of it. We have been left, me and Dice, man, to man the ship. Babsy, who is on TV right now, every time we get ready to introduce her, she popped on TV. She's on ESPN right now covering the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, Eastern Michigan, and who else is San Jose State. So they're getting it on this third quarter right now. Babsy's doing sideline reporting for that. 33-20, Eastern Michigan is winning. Yoral is on assignment in Hawaii, covering the MTSU versus San Diego State Blue Raiders. The Blue Raiders made it to the bowl game, both teams 7-5, so he's checking in with us. If you missed that, go back and check out the podcast where you get your podcast. Chris Lowe was on earlier. Jim Wyatt also was on, breaking it down for us. It's 5 o'clock hour. We are touching on a little bit of everything and opening up the phone lines to you, 615-737-1045. Also, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
We see you out there. A lot of streaming. I gave a shout-out earlier to the ladies of the Titans. Ladies of Titans football. I'm sorry, y'all. Well, y'all forgive me. Don't come after me. You know what I mean? Giving a shout-out to them for holding it down, man, keeping good positive energy going into this next game with the Houston Texans on Saturday. We heard from Kevin Byard, the audio sample from him. Let's hear a little bit from Vrabel. But before we hear from Vrabel, don't forget, things that you dread when the holidays came around. That's what we are. Me in college couldn't stand, I told you, couldn't stand when everybody used to go home and they leave you there practicing sometime twice a day. Football team was gone, getting ready for their bowl game, whatever game that was in while I was in school. The women's basketball team was around, but pretty much, man, it was a ghost town on campus. So no parties or nothing to go to for really about a month, man. And that was, oh, man, you talking about, whoo. Couldn't wait for kids to get back. Couldn't wait for the students to get back on campus, man.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have some sense of reality, man, KD. I couldn't do it, man. Do you got any experiences in college that you couldn't stand when the holidays rolled around?
No, because bowl games.
Bowl game, y'all was cool.
We was cool.
Y'all taking trips, getting per diem money.
That's
everything
it.
was on.
You know what I'm saying? Going in Utah, Salt Lake City, snow on the ground. I'm going to California or Tucson, Arizona. You know, getting out the snow, get to play another game.
So
get
you
to
welcome the holidays.
Yeah,
really.
match up against whoever. You know, going against at that time Pac-10 and then Big Ten. So it was a welcome trip. Other than being away from family another extended time and your Christmas break from the second semester cut short. But other than that, man, I enjoyed my little Christmas breaks in college.
Yeah, and you had to have them, man, because you needed to re-energize and try to get back to it, man. Oh, man, with Philly Mike, we were just coming to you. Philly Mike dropped off. So if you out there listening, Philly Mike, call back. We was on our way to you, brother. But outside of that, we have people tapping in the chat with us. Let me see, Tyler Dow. One thing he hated when we were kids at my grandparents' house, they would make me and my cousin dress up as Mary and Joseph and read the story of Christmas out of the Bible before we were allowed to open any presents. Had to put on the big robes and hold a baby doll representing baby Jesus as a 10-year-old just waiting to open presents. I always dreaded doing that. I could feel that, man. Hey, the plays, boy. I used to get put in so many church plays when I was little, man. Oh, boy. Hey, Tyler, I feel your pain on that. Savage checked in a little bit earlier telling us about what he dreaded. His was he dreaded getting his bike eventually stolen after he couldn't ride it in the winter. Project housing living. So hashtag project housing living, man. Big Savage checking in on the chat, man. We appreciate everybody tuning in, tapping in. Share your stories, 615-737-1045. We got Philly Mike on line 1 with the holiday story. What you got, Philly Mike? How you doing, brother?
All right, Big. What's going on, man? Good job today, brother.
Man, appreciate it, man. We're trying to keep it rolling.
All right. Hey, Doctor, I was sitting in the end zone. I was working for Coca-Cola in Atlanta. My wife and I were sitting in the end zone on that play, man. But great effort on your part, brother. But
appreciate you,
know,
man.
just one of those things, man.
I
but
appreciate
Big Ron, I'm going to echo on your points. When I played at St. Joe's in Philly during semester break, man, when everybody was gone, man, St. Joe's is in the west side of Philadelphia. Man, that was a ghost town, and we did practicing during the semester break.
Right.
So we ended up going up to the ECAC tournament up at Madison Square Garden. So we all take the train, go up to New York. We played against Gus Williams and Paul Westfall. They were, at the time, guards with Southern Cal. You had their Rutgers team the year before they went undefeated. So we stay up in New York for 3 or 4 days, and we take a train back to Philly. And then you're there on campus. All you're doing is practicing during the semester break. And then a little bit later on, we flew down to Jacksonville to play in the Gator Bowl basketball tournament. But I echo your points exactly, man. There is not much to do. But in Philly, there was a lot to do.
Yeah.
Right? We go down and do whatever. But, man, it was a total ghost town, and I couldn't wait until the students got back because now the campus is lively, the arena is packed again, and you're back to normal. So I agree with you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate that, Philly Mike. Thank you for the call, man. I'm telling y'all, man, like, listen, I ain't complaining, but listen, dog. Man, when you out there, you just seeing the same old people. It's kind of like when you're going through the summertime, getting ready for the season. I would imagine in football, when you're seeing the same old guys over and over and over in the preseason, and like you need something to break the monotony up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we couldn't wait for that trip to the Rainbow Classic in Hawaii, Honolulu. We ended up winning that tournament. But, man, it was amazing, dog. Like, us to get the opportunity to go to Hawaii, we went for a week. Our coach, Jerry Green, the great Jerry Green, Coach Green, man, my man, he had hurt his foot before the trip, Dice. So this will give you an idea of what we had going on. You know what I mean? This is the good times we had. Instead of putting on 2 sandals, knowing that we're going to Hawaii, he put on 1 sandal and 1 regular shoe. Like his foot is hurt. So he took the time, tie up his shoe, and put a sandal on and just say, I'm going to walk like this. Instead of, I'm going to just put 2 sandals on and just roll like this. So we saw this getting off the plane. We were like, okay, Coach out here on 1. All right, he's just doing this thing. So we get ready for the luau. And I'm going to tell y'all this right now. Everybody knows at the University of Tennessee at that time, man, we were having a good time. It is what it is. We get to the luau. It's nighttime. It's probably sun just going down. But it's not dusk or anything. Like it's the sun really down. Like you can see the fire with them spinning the fire and everything.
Yeah.
Our coach came down, sat down at the table. Dice, he had sunglasses on. Right then and there, I looked at Vincent Yarbrough and Isaiah Victor. I said, "Hey, dog, we got to find the bartender because it's going down." If coach down here with sunglasses on, that means he already fried. Hey, man, we need to go on and get on our level, man. So we got to
go play catch up.
What? Oh, man, it was on, man. We had a hell of a time, dude. But I'll tell you this, man, there ain't nothing like those memories right there, though.
Yeah.
Bonding with teammates. That's one thing about it. You got to find little stuff to get into, whether it's video games, making bets on games or whatever it is.
Shooting Dyson.
Shooting Dyson. Anything, dog. All kind of stuff go on behind the scenes, dog. It was spades. It was real. But, man, it was cool. Then we were lucky. My mom moved up, so we would go over her house. Also, Vincent Yarbrough's mom moved up to Knoxville, so we would go over her house and hang out and eat and everything. So that was the only thing that kept our sanity. But outside of that, man, it was rough during that Christmas break, man. So, yeah, man. But, yeah, that's part of it. Y'all call in, share your story, 615-737-1045. We love to hear from everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are resetting, talking to Little Titans, and exactly where we are headed. The last 4 games, what did Vrabel have to say about that, Jay Smiley? You got that ready for us?
Well, we went 2 games without creating a turnover on defense. We didn't turn the ball over on offense. We, again, Philly just wasn't good enough in all phases. The turnovers against Jacksonville, critical, and then the offensive penalties last week, and then defensively the situational football at the end of the game, allowing them to run it in the red zone last week, were probably things that contributed to that game in general. So, I don't think there's one specific thing, whether we weren't able to run the ball against Cincinnati or Philly to kind of get things going. Jacksonville felt like we moved the ball well. We don't really we have to focus on this week and how we pull it all together. Try to combine all the good stuff that we've done and find a way to prepare and find a way to win.
Talking about finding a way to win, we'll discuss what you think who should be on the center for this game going into Houston. I think that's about to be a topic of conversation going further into the week. This is 3HL. Your one, Dr. Dyson is in the building, and your boy, Big Slate, man. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Santa Barkley is coming to town, and he's delivering $20 million in gifts this holiday season to all FanDuel customers. Doesn't matter if you've been naughty or nice, St. Chuck has something for everyone. All you have to do, check your FanDuel app for no-sweat, same-game parlays, bonuses, and all sorts of stuff that'll fill you with holiday cheer. If you're new to FanDuel, now's a great time to sign up. Remember to use promo code DAWN, D-A-W-N. The app's super easy to use, and they are always hooking you up with great promotions. And when you win, you'll get paid instantly. So go see for yourself why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Get in the holiday spirit with $20 million in gifts from Santa Barkley. You do have to be 21 and older, present in Tennessee. Prize total dependent on customer participation. Wager requirements apply. Gifts awarded as non-withdrawable site credit or free bets. See FanDuel.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
What's up, people? Ron Slay here, man. And on behalf of Dawn Davenport, we want to offer you something. You got a little slight fender bender that you need to get taken care of, a little dent in your car that you backed into something, backed into a wall, you backed into a light post, you accidentally backed into someone. Well, we got the people that you need to go talk to. Stan has provided us, a good friend of ours, Apple Collision Centers. They are the people that you need to go see, and they are going to take care of you. For more than 40 years, they provided Middle Tennessee with the highest quality standards in collision repair, auto body, and refinishing work. From imports and domestic cars to vans, trucks, RVs, fleet vehicles, whatever it may be, you can depend on them. Now, what you got to understand, it is 3 locations, Hendersonville, Gallatin, and Old Hickory, and they'll work with your insurance and even help arrange a rental, people. They do the towing as well, so you don't have to worry about that. That headache is gone, and they only spray the best Sherwin-Williams finishes. Yes, put that nice coat of paint right back on there, and they'll do free estimates and do repairs from hail damage. So I already told you about auto accidents, dents, and more. What you need to do, people, is make this real simple. Visit applecollisioncenters.com to schedule a free estimate or learn more.
dog! Run, Slay! Run!
Welcome back into 3HL on 1045thezone.com. Hey, man. First of all, I don't even know why I threw .com on there. But this is 3HL on 1045 The Zone. I was thrown off right there. That was good right there. Good job, Jay Smiley. Coming back in. Shout out to my guy Bert, man. Robert holding it down. Got the drop. The Home Alone edition part 2, man. That's where that comes from. The Kevin part where Kevin was left home alone. Now you got Big Slay left home alone. Babsy's on assignment and Euro's on assignment. But I got my guy Dr. Dyson rocking out with me the whole show. So it is what it is. Dyson, we want to touch on what you think and what should be expected if a guy like Tannehill couldn't go going into this Saturday. And pretty much, I mean, it's not must win because you still hold your own destiny with the Jacksonville game at the end of the season.
Yeah.
But
this helps.
Yeah, this definitely
a little
helps.
more cushion.
Yeah, there you go. Let's hear from Tom Pelissero, who of the NFL Network on Tannehill.
Elsewhere, Ryan Tannehill's status for their game coming up this weekend also in doubt after he re-injured his right ankle this past weekend against the Chargers. Now, Tannehill gutted it out, got carted off, came back into the game. He is as tough as they come. If there's any way Tannehill can be on the field, he's going to be out there. But my understanding is this is an uphill battle for Ryan Tannehill to be ready this weekend, which means rookie Malik Willis, who got his first NFL start a couple months ago against the Texans, could end up starting against Houston again.
Well, there you go. I mean, he's not catching us off guard with anything, with us being right here, maybe for the national media and keeping them abreast of what's going on. But we can kind of see that. You know, that was a bad ankle injury. He re-injured the ankle. You know what I mean? The other ankle was already hurting. So, But Malik Willis, if he had to step under center, what's your thoughts? And not only your thoughts on that, Dice, but you as a wide receiver one coming back, if Traylon Burks was able to re-enter for this game, hopefully, what's your thoughts as a receiver getting ready for that instead of your QB1?
Let me start with the offensive coordinator. Okay. I think you almost have to have two separate game plans in mind. I think depending on where Malik Willis is on his maturation process, I'm sure he's gotten some valuable reps and scout team and things of that nature. But the sample size from his game film is just getting started. So there is a little bit. So Houston has a little bit of a sense of his abilities or inabilities going into this game, but they got dominated. The Texans got dominated up front so much, ran the ball 45 times that game, 32 of them from Derrick Henry for 200 and some odd yards. Malik Willis threw it 10 times. And I said after that game, there's no way you see that happening again. There's no way there's no way you can get demoralized like that back to back to back. They're going to have to figure out a way to throw the football.
Yeah.
That being said, here goes the two game plans. What is Downing doing to incorporate Malik Willis's strengths in the passing game and probably in the running game as well, but specifically in the passing game that you can work on, that you can be certain he can handle these? Not calling your offense that you've done with Tannehill, the veteran. What can we do to get this young guy some success, especially early? Traylon Burks' ability to run and break tackles probably does help a lot.
Yeah.
You get things quickly done, get him in the screen games, let him get rolling. But what are his strengths? Have they got enough? Do they know enough? I know you've done the pre-draft stuff. I know you've done some things. Do they know enough about him at this stage of the season where we can kind of cater an manageable offensive game plan for Malik Willis to be successful? Because they're two different style of quarterbacks. We all see that.
Right.
So assuming he's going to be able to do what Tannehill does is malpractice. You got to be able to incorporate some things for his strengths that complement everybody else around him.
And to that point, like it was a question on social media that reached out to us. I wanted to ask this. This is not straying too far from our topic. Chris asked, could you ask Dr. Dyson, he's curious on how much time an OC spends in each position room on any given week?
Very little.
Yeah.
Most OC spend the bulk of their time with the quarterbacks.
Gotcha.
But position coaches, they meet all the time till 1, 2 o'clock, wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
Like they just constantly meet. That's what coaches do, right? But they spend a bulk of their time with the quarterbacks. Now they'll go and speak with the offensive line coach and say, "Hey, when we got this protection, this check, this is what we're thinking." They do things like that, but a bulk of their time is spent with the quarterbacks.
Man, that's good. So, Chris, hope you got your answer. Appreciate you reaching out, man. Y'all know y'all can follow us right here on 3HL. I'm gonna keep on saying 3HL.com at 3HL is where you want to reach us at 104.5 The Zone. Dice, another perspective. You coming back, Traylon Burks. Put yourself in his shoes. You're entering back in. You don't have that QB1. You want to get back acclimated. You know the relationship that you have building with QB1.
Yeah.
Because we read the stats yesterday. That's off the charts and great for him. Over 250 plus yards per game for Tannehill. So he's comfortable as well with him. What is it with him walking into this situation with a guy like Malik Willis?
Again, I put that pressure back on Todd Downing. I think you have to be able to incorporate some plays to be able to build some kind of rapport, get him acclimated, get him in a rhythm of the game. I don't know if you're talking about doing some deep crossing routes. There's some things, something quick, some screen game things. I don't know what it is, what they feel like they can put on the shoulders of Malik Willis to be able to utilize the strengths of Traylon Burks. That's them. They with them all day long. I can make my assumptions based on what I've seen in limited time, but that's what I'm curious to see how they utilize Malik Willis' strengths to complement Derrick Henry, Okonkwo, Traylon Burke, Westbrook Akine, Woods. How is he going to use his complement of guys with the abilities or inabilities of Malik Willis? Because I don't think they can sit there and say he can go 6 for 10 for 55 yards and Derrick Henry run for 32 for 200 and think that's going to happen again. You would like for it to happen again. I hope so. Offensive line is struggling a little bit more than they were at that time. Houston has gotten better since that time. You know, it seems like it was a long time ago. It wasn't that long ago. They have gotten better. So he's going to have to make some plays in a passing game. How that looks, you know, we'll see their approach in the early goings. Like if they're trying to dump it off, the guys run, get linemen in the way, people try to make some plays, or he's got a big arm. You know, you're gonna take a couple shots to loosen him up a little bit. Maybe we'll see how they approach it if he's the quarterback.
And that's the biggest difference, I believe, when you have a guy going back and seeing a defense for the second time. Also, along with that, like you're saying with the OC, now he has weapons that have been able to come along. Like Chig knows the playbook a lot better. Hooper's more engaged now with the passing game. So you even got Derrick Henry. I think it started probably with that Houston game of him getting these screen passes and things of that nature. So it's interesting. Let's listen to Vrabel if you got that, Smiley. The number 5 cut. Vrabel on Malik playing the same defense for a second time.
Fair. I think that not only that, just the comfort level of having been out there. I think we talked about it after the game. He popped out there, found Conley twice. Was decisive, pulled the ball, tucked it, made a move, got a first down, slid. So I think all those things, can help. It won't be any easier, but I think that those are all things that just as he continues to develop and get more comfortable.
Okay, so you hear that kind of alluding to what we both were just hitting on, especially you. Tell me this, Dice.
Yeah.
You walking into this game, and if Malik does have to go, like you said earlier, Malik didn't have to deal with the lack of protection to an extent that we're seeing now from the O-line. And I don't know if that's the wear and tear of the season and maybe a couple people banged up on the O-line, but man, they were, like you said, they were road grading a little bit, man, early on. Like one thing we could rely on is like it ain't the best running game, but they are blocking in the run blocks. They get to them. Pass blocking a little bit different. How do you feel cold weather game? Malik being thrown out there, and you got this line to get behind.
I'm glad you said that because as I was talking, I was sitting there thinking the one thing that Malik has right now over Tannehill, because Tannehill can run. He's an athlete. People forget he is. He's just a veteran quarterback now who's learned the timing of those runs a little bit better. is that element of the athleticism to extend drives and take what looks like a loss or a sack and make it a 20-yard gain. So that's still a fear factor, I think, because it's athleticism presented of a young quarterback who's probably going to go 1 read, 2 reads, and I'm out,
right,
so to speak, right?
Yep.
Is that the approach they're going to do? Or are they going to let him scan the field, let him be a quarterback? Or are they going to say, you know what, just don't do anything silly, man. If you don't see nothing, throw it away or go run, try to make plays that way, as opposed to trying to dictate or find out what the defense is doing and go read 1, read 2, read 3, going all across the field, and the timing of the linemen and protections and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. We don't have that kind of time right now, right? So his athleticism and this injury might, I don't want to say it's great time because I never want to be injured. You never want your players to be injured. But it might help this struggling offensive line in getting Malik Willis' ability, his athleticism, his running ability to help some of this pressure coming on this offensive line, specifically in the passing game.
And that'll be interesting because I know that was a focal point on Malik Willis and his growth to be able to stay in the pocket. Yeah. Because coming out of the preseason, it was, man, I'm one look, maybe two, he gone. Yeah, and Vrabel and them kept telling him, like, hey, man, you got to stay in the pocket. You got to trust the pocket. At this point, he's been on the sideline watching. The reason I'm entering this game right now is because this guy back there trusts in the pocket.
Right.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's a vet doing it. So I'm interested to see what his thoughts are. Kevin, on the line, want to talk about the Titans offensive line. Hoptown in the building. What's up, Kevin?
Hey, how y'all doing tonight?
How you doing, man?
Hey, not bad. I think something y'all were talking about, I think really hit home for me. You know, the offensive line, while they may be doing okay in run protection, the pass protection, they're just not going to have a passing game until they correct that offensive line, because I saw on a number of occasions Tannehill will go to a 5-step, 7-step drop, and as soon as he plants that back foot, you've got defensive linemen in the backfield with them. And you're just not going to win like that. Now, with Willis, you know, he is a more athletic quarterback, and you know, he might get a few plays that maybe Tannehill wouldn't. But I don't think it's the quarterbacks. I don't think it's the defense. I don't think it's the running game. I think the sole issue is the line. Until they fix that, you know, we're going to struggle. And I want to get offline and listen to y'all.
Kevin, real quick, Kevin, before you go, I wanted to ask you, like, so what would be your take on we just go out there and kind of treat it the way it was the first game going to Houston, and you just like, hey, man, a couple looks as far as the pass game, but, man, we running this ball regardless.
You know, sometimes when you have an athletic quarterback like Willis, especially as a rookie, they're prone to take more chances, but sometimes that's their growth. You know, that's the only way that they learn. And he might be willing to take more chances than Tannehill might. But right now, with things the way they are, with the line the way it is, maybe that's what we need. We need that little spark, that little, you know, who knows what's going to happen kind of thing.
Yeah.
We appreciate that, Kevin, man. Thank you for that. So his question. All right, so you got a guy like Malik Willis. We were talking about yesterday, what could be that breath of fresh air? Now, you don't expect him to ride out into the sunset the last 3 games of the season and going to take you there. You get in the playoffs or nothing like that. But could this do it? Could this give that spark for the defense? You know, defense go out and have their normal game. Offense able to move the ball, whether it's by legs, Malik Willis by his arm, or Malik Willis's legs, and doing the read ops, whatever it had to be. Can that be a spark enough to get you off the snide and be like, oh, man, wait, now we can win. We got that taste of winning back, and that's however we got to do it.
Yeah.
That's what will set the tone.
Yeah. What's the quarterback's name? RP3? Baylor quarterback?
RG3.
RG3.
Okay,
and that playoff run. Had he not had those injuries at the end, he was a problem.
Yes.
And he wasn't the best thrower. He wasn't making the best decisions. He was playing well within what they were needing at that time. Offensive line was struggling. You know, that's what ultimately got him hurt, because offensive line was struggling.
So was.
Right?
Yep.
But he was using that athleticism.
Yes,
he was using that 4.3 speed. He was getting out the pocket, making throws. He was extending plays, making throws, converting long third downs, long second downs with his legs. And so I go back to that. Had he not got that last little injury there in the playoffs, they might have made a Super Bowl run.
Yeah.
They were close.
They was getting to it.
So it's circumstantial with the offensive line struggling, and a healthy quarterback can be beneficial at this point. To your point, is he the one going to take the Holy Grail? I don't know, not yet.
Right.
We'd be naive to think that. But I think he can have some success because there are so many unknown commodities to his game from the other standpoint trying to plan for him. Now, they do have a sample size for him. They have a 2-game sample size. But when I talk about it and I think about it, he threw 10 passes in one and, 12 in the other?
Yeah.
He completed, of those 24, he completed, 9 or something like that?
That's your sample size.
Yeah. So it's like 9 or 10 passes he completed. So of that being said, do they, meaning the Texans, have enough film to create a game plan? To me, it becomes even simpler. I'm going to dictate terms. I'm going to make him have to throw more than 10 times. If I'm defense coordinator, we're going to make him have to throw. We're going to make him throw 30 times per week and beat us. Derrick Henry, he's going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm taking him out. It's that old Michael Jordan thing. We can either take Michael out and see if the other guys can beat us.
Yeah.
Or we let Mike get his, but we shut down everybody else. In this case, I'm shutting down Mike. I'm shutting down Derrick Henry, and I'm going to see if these other guys, specifically the quarterback and the receivers, can they beat me?
To your point, man, in the Houston game he got in, he was 6 for 10 in starting that game. 6 for 10, 1 interception. Then the following week against Kansas City, they lost 20-17. He was 5 for 16, 80 yards, sacked 3 times. Sacked 3 times also in the game against Houston. Got in at the end of the Philly game, 2 for 4 for 16 yards, and then the Chargers game when he subbed in 3 for 4 until Tannehill got back. So, I mean, hey. That is your sample size. That's all you got to roll with.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, decisions got to be made. A total of 17 for 38.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's it. And I think he had like 1 completion against the Chiefs in the second half.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So that's the way it is, man. That's the way it is. Now, people, is that enough hope for you? Do we got to build you up some more going through the week? We will. You know what I mean? We will. You can tune in right here at 3HL. Stay right there. We will be right back.
I want to tell you about my friends at Brentwood Jewelry. You need to check them out, especially during the month of December. But these guys need to be your go-to guys during every day of the year. You've got gifting responsibilities all year long. But certainly now the holiday season is upon us. Our friends at Brentwood Jewelry make Christmas shopping easy. As we all know, Christmas is a popular time to propose. It's also a time for giving to those that you love. Brentwood Jewelry can give you the experience that you want, like a surprise gift of that dream ring that she's always wanted at a price that you can afford. Maybe you're looking for something custom and unique. Consult with their custom designers or choose from their selection of fine jewelry, watches, engagement rings, or bring in that priceless heirloom and have them transform that into a special gift that your loved one can wear every day. Let them create a personalized piece that is unique to the person to whom you're giving it. Ladies, if you're looking for ideas for that special man in your life, Brentwood Jewelry is the place for watches. Brentwood Jewelry in the heart of Brentwood, 7012 Church Street. Just off Franklin Road, exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
And 104.5 The Zone. This is Home Alone Edition, Part 2, coming to an end. We thank you all for tuning in, man, and rocking with the good Kevin Dyson, the doctor himself, miracle man himself. Dr. Dyson rocked out with us, man.
Yes.
How'd you like these 2 days right here, Dr. Dyson?
Man, I'm enjoying it, man. I appreciate you having me, man. Get to do this kind of on the side on the weekends, and I enjoy being on the radio. Talk sports, talk Titans, man. This is fun.
Mm-hmm. Hey, man, that's why we try to have it, man. We're just having a good conversation.
Yes, sir.
2 fellas here, just talking with a couple people listening. That's all. You know what I'm saying? And y'all watching. We appreciate y'all joining in on the Zone chat, having and hitting us up also in social media, 3HAL and 104.5. We appreciate that. Appreciate all the love. Hey, one of the things that I want to point out, man, that you can go read. We're going to try to get them on. It was an article that came out that was written for Zakai Ziegler. This is a story by, her name is Dana O'Neill of The Athletic. When the DNA of Tennessee's program lost its New York City home, a community rallied. This was everybody rallying and sending to the GoFundMe when Zakai Ziegler's home burnt up in New York. Parents, were out of the home. His mom and his siblings were out of the home, ended up moving to Knoxville. Everybody rallied around the nation, not only Tennessee fans, but shout out to Vol Nation for coming through for him. Really good article. We're going to try to get her on. Y'all can check that article out. We'll get her on later in the week for sure. So trying to give you guys hope. Is there hope for the Titans? We're going to build you up, man. Going all the way to Saturday. It's going to be cold, so we're going to build you up with hope. If you think it's not a chance, Dice, is there a chance? Is there a chance the Titans handle business coming into Saturday?
Yeah, man. This is what I think. I don't know if Houston has enough offense for the Titans. In defense, struggle aside, but they're still not giving up a whole lot of points, right?
Right.
You got to stop them when you got to stop them, but offense help them out a little bit too.
Yeah.
Right? How they performed against Green Bay, offense was helping them out. Last time they played Houston, defense looked spectacular. Yep. They were rested and they were attacking because the offense was productive. Mm-hmm. So if offense can be productive again, I think the defense will prevail. I think they will hold them. I don't think they have enough offense right now. They don't have enough confidence in their offense, although they did pretty good against the Chiefs last week. But I think the Titans get it taken care of right here. And that takes a little bit of pressure off that Dallas game.
Right.
And maybe that pressure will go back up against Jacksonville, but Jacksonville has a tough test this week as well.
Yes.
Absolutely the Jets are no joke.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they get taken care of. They get off the losing streak snide right here this weekend.
That is, man. We appreciate that. Dr. Dyson, it was wonderful, man, having my guys sit in with me. Babsy will be back tomorrow, people. And this ain't the last you hearing of Dr. Dyson, man. Wherever we got to kidnap him and bring him on in here, that's what we're gonna do. We want you to enjoy your principal responsibilities, but at the same time, man, you coming in here spreading the knowledge, dog. That's priceless, man.
Man, I appreciate you. Anytime y'all want me to hop on, I hop on. So just let me know.
Say no more, man. Just want to bring recognition, man. The VIP Titans tailgate will not be this Saturday. It will be the 29th against the Dallas Cowboys on that Thursday, starting at 4:15. So get your tickets, Bullseye Event Group. Going to have a couple special guests stopping through. You don't want to miss that, man. I guarantee you 3 hours of greatness leading up to kickoff. But tomorrow, hump day, people. It is hump day. It will be going down. Babsy will be back in the building. Todd Furman will be on to break down numbers. And the one and only Coach Mack will be here to keep everybody's powder dry. Maybe he'll tell us not to keep a powder dry. If Coach Mack panicked, then we in trouble.
Woo!
So yeah. I don't think that'll happen. But you do got Coach Mack coming up next. Him and Red Gordy B coming in to hold it down. So tune in for them. Mack Talk will be next. Man. Shout out to, give my shout outs real quick. Noah Jameson, man, my young fellow, man, was tapped in listening to the show today. Also, the ladies of Titans football, shout out to them. Tennessee State got a victory today. Shout out to the Big Blue Tigers over there, man, handling business against Brescia, getting ready to go into OVC play. A lot of basketball right here on the fringe to take place. Lipscomb at Louisville, they should be getting it on right now. Murray State at MTSU. Sanford at Belmont, Austin P at UT. That is tomorrow, and Alabama A&M at Vandy. And they'll be getting ready for SEC play. Hey, man, we appreciate it. The Home Alone edition, part 2, is a Rizz-Out. Hey, man, love somebody, hug somebody, and get out the way of people. It's the holidays, people. We'll see y'all. We out of here. You supposed to have the Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.